Let's take you live to the electorate of Brisbane now. Kaiser Shields is there for us. Kaiser, a lot of resources have been thrown at these inner city Brisbane seats by the major parties, trying to convince voters to turn away from the Greens this time around after the Greens had that extraordinary result at the last election.
Absolutely, Ash. The Greens did very well in southeast Queensland at the last election in 2022. They managed to pick up 3 key seats, that being Brisbane, Ryan and Griffith. And in this election, the big question is, can they hang on to them? It's very much a 3-way race between the Greens, the Liberals and the Labor Party in these seats, where the top issues are what we're seeing around the country as well, that being a cost of living as well as climate and, of course, housing. Now, this seat is currently Brisbane, where I'm reporting to you from this morning. It's held by the Greens' Stephen Bates on a 3.7% margin. Now, I spoke to Stephen earlier in the day and he told me that he deserves to be re-elected because of the work that he's done as a first-term MP. Someone who I think will have a different opinion on that is the LNP candidate for Brisbane, Trevor Evans, who's been kind enough to spare some time to join me this afternoon. Trevor, why should people vote for you?
Because Brisbane needs better local representation and because the nation needs better economic management. The cost of living crisis that's playing out right now across Australia is not normal. Inflation is a terrible economic disease and ultimately it's caused by bad governments and bad economic management. So my message to local voters is send an economist, not an activist, to Canberra.
At the state election in October last year, we really saw Queenslanders sort of move away from the Greens, which came as a bit of a surprise. Is that a sort of momentum you're hoping to capitalise on?
Well, I think local voters across Greater Brisbane have a sense of buyer's remorse. I think lots of people thought that at that last election, with some of the issues playing out that elected lots of the TLs in places like Sydney and Melbourne, I think that they thought that the Greens would just be a soft party of the environment, but instead their lived reality has been local representatives here for the Greens who are not particularly interested in the environment, but are actually interested in radical issues, extreme and social causes.
And one last question for you. Preferences played a huge role in this electorate at the last election. Do you expect it to do so again?
Yeah, the last preference counts, the final preference count at the last election decided the outcome of this election, and I predict that it will again. That's why I've been talking in particular to Labor voters at this election, and I've been letting them know that last time around Labor Party votes and preferences got the Greens across the line here. A lot of Labor voters aren't happy with that outcome, and so I've been talking to usual Labor voters about the need to work with somebody like myself, to preference someone like myself who can work with them, potentially get outcomes from the middle and move away from the extremes in politics.
Trevor, thank you so much for your time today. So there you hear it, Ash. The Liberals very confident that they can gain this seat, but so too are the Greens and Labor as well. We're just going to have to wait and see exactly how this will play out because this is definitely a seat to watch.
Certainly is. Kaiser live there in Brisbane. Thank you.